Hello, children. How do you do? Must be having a great time. Myself, I'm Harar. I'm principal AII College, Barabanki. Today, I shall take up English of class 10. I'll be focusing on grammar. My topic today is usage of have and do. Dear children, in your previous class, you have learnt that words can be classified according to the function which they perform in a sentence. And this is called parts of a speech. Today, we shall talk about the most important part of the speech, that is a verb. Verb is the most important thing in a sentence. We cannot think of a sentence without a verb. A sentence may be without subject, it may be without object, but it can't be without a verb. Verb has been variously defined by the scholars or grammarians. I'll try to define it in a simple way. A verb, dear children, is a doing word that shows an action, an event, or a state. A sentence may either have a main verb or a helping verb or both. In other words, a verb is a word that informs about an action, an existence of something, or an occurrence. The verb is the main word in a sentence. No sentence can be complete without verb. Let us take a few examples to prove my point. Hari laughs. A very simple definition of verb is that it is a verb that says something about the agent or subject. Hari laughs. What does Hari do? He laughs. So laughs is a verb. The boy writes a letter. What does the boy do? He writes. So writes is a verb. We have done our work. What have we done? What is the subject we doing? We are finishing our work or doing our work. So have done is a verb. I feel scared. What is being said about I? He feels. I feel scared. So feel is a verb. She was late for the school. So was is a verb, Now, we can further classify verbs in many types. And these are main verbs, helping verbs, linking verbs, transitive verbs, intransitive verbs. Dear children, I shall not talk about all the verbs here. I shall confine myself mainly to the helping verbs because it is with the helping verbs that our topic of today, the usage of have and do is concerned. Now, helping verbs. As the name suggests, dear children, helping verbs help or support the main verb. They are also called auxiliary verbs. Examples are children are playing with a ball. Children are playing with a ball. Or is an auxiliary verb or a helping verb because it helps us to identify the stage in which the action of playing is taking place. So, auxiliary verbs helps us to identify the tense of the sentence, the person of the subject, and the mood, as well. So, are is a helping verb. I was reading my book. Reading is the main verb, was is helping verb. So, what is the function it is doing, It is helping us to tell us that the action is continuing and the action was in the past, They will elect a leader. Once again, will is helping the main verb elect. What is it doing? It tells us that the action will take place in future. My uncle has finished reading the book. Now, finished is the main verb and has is the helping verb because it is helping us to identify the tense and the number of the subject. Now, it is in the present perfect tense. Now, it has been used with verb third and it is in singular, So, has is a helping verb. You can take my pen. Now, here, can is a modal verb. It is a helping verb, Now, children, we are moving on to our main topic, that is the usage of have and do. Have and do along with be or call primary auxiliaries in English language, There are two types of auxiliaries in English language, primary auxiliaries and modal auxiliaries, dear children. So we are going to study the primary auxiliaries have and do. We are not concerned here with be, So have is a primary auxiliary as well as a main verb. We use have as a helping verb and as a main verb. It is an irregular verb. Its three forms are have, had, and its present simple form with third person singular is has, Examples are, he has studied a lot, Now the primary auxiliary have becomes has in singular or third person singular, you can say. He has studied a lot. It is now helping us to frame present perfect tense, He has studied a lot. The action began sometime in the past and it is continued up till now, so you can say. So has is a helping verb here. They have learned their lesson. Once again, it is a helping verb and it is in the present perfect tense. It is helping learned. We had left before you got there. Now, it is the second form of have has been used here. And had plus verb thought. This is perfect tense. And when, dear children, we talk of two actions in the past, so the action which takes place first is put in past perfect and the action which takes subsequently is put in past indefinite tense. So had left is past perfect tense, Let us have a drink. Have here is a main verb. It is in the sense of enjoying. I am going to have a bath, a specific use of have with infinitive. Dear children, we shall study have as a helping verb in the beginning. As a helping verb, have is used with the past participle or verb third of other verbs to form present perfect and past perfect tenses. Examples are, I have heard this story before. Now have is a helping verb. It is helping the main verb heard, and it helps us to denote that it is in the present perfect tense. She has not visited Agra. Once again, has is a helping verb, and it is helping the main verb visited, present perfect tense. Have you been invited? Present perfect tense, passive voice. You notice the structure of the sentence. Have you been invited? It has been used with been. Once it goes into passive voice, been is added to it. The doctor had reached before the patient died. It is past perfect tense, had plus reached. Just as I told you that if two actions took place in the past, the first action is put in past perfect, and the second action or the subsequent action is put in the past indefinite. So had is a helping verb. It is past perfect tense. My elder brother left home after it had rained. Now had plus rained, once again it is past perfect tense because it is helping the verb rained. Now dear children, when we make questions and negative in present perfect or past perfect tense, how do we make use of have? Just as you know that inversion takes place, that means the first helping verb, it comes before the subject, and the second verb, whether it is helping verb or the main verb, remains in its place. Have you heard the news before? Now it has been used to frame an interrogative sentence. Had the farmer plowed the field before his son came? Once again, it is past perfect tense, and had has been used. Inversion has taken place. It is an interrogative sentence. Where had she been these days? Once again, past perfect tense. It is helping the main verb been. And it is an interrogative sentence. WH type. Why has the boy bathed in the river? Has is a helping verb. It is in the present perfect tense, and it is helping the main verb bathed. And it is in interrogative WH form. Why? The shopkeeper has not sold his spices today. It is a negative sentence, and it has been used. Adverb not has been used between the helping verb and the main verb. Notice, dear children. Now the second usage of have as a helping verb is with perfect continuous tenses. As a helping verb, have is used in all the three perfect continuous tenses: present, past, and future. Examples are, he has been learning his lesson for an hour. Has been is a helping verb. It has been used with present participle or verb 1 plus ing to make present perfect continuous tense here. It is an assertive sentence. I had been wearing my mask since morning. Nowadays mask, putting on mask is very necessary. So I had been wearing my mask since morning. The action is taking place in past perfect continuous tense. Had been is a helping verb here. You will have been watering the plants for 10 minutes. Will have been. Here you have got have is being used with will and been. It is being used to frame future perfect continuous tense. The action will take place in future. The action will have taken place in future. Now another use of have with should plus have plus verb third or past participle, and it is used to talk about things we regret. If have is used with any other modal auxiliary or any other primary auxiliary, then of course we talk about the things we regret. Here it is being used with should have. For example, I got really wet walking home last night. I should have taken an umbrella, That means I got fully wet all over when I was walking home last night, and I did not take an umbrella. Now he's regretting the fact that I should have taken an umbrella. So should have here, tells us that it is the thing which we are regretting. Now we shall talk about have as a main verb. As a main verb, have is used in some specific senses, which are as follows. Of course, in this small video, it is not possible for me to give all the senses in which it is used. I mentioned some of the main important ones. Have plus object is used in the sense of eat, drink, enjoy, experience, or many other things. The exact meaning, dear children, depends on the following noun. Examples are, let us have breakfast. Here have is used in the sense of eating. Let us eat breakfast. Instead of saying let us eat breakfast, we prefer saying let us have breakfast. I had a coffee at the restaurant last evening. Here had is being used in the sense of drinking. I drank coffee at the restaurant last evening. In spoken English, it is preferred. I use had. I had a coffee at the restaurant last evening. Have a good time. Here it is being used in the sense of enjoy a good time. You had difficulty in arranging the money. Now had is used in the sense of experienced. You had difficulty, that means you experienced difficulty in arranging the money. The second usage of have as a main verb is when we talk about possessions, relationship, illness, the characteristics of people and things. Examples are, her father has a flat in New Delhi. Now has here is used in the sense of possession. Her father possesses a flat or owns a flat. It is in the sense of ownership has. Do you have any brothers and sisters? Now when we talk of relationship, we make use of have here. My grandfather had a bad cold last week. Here when we talk of illness, have is used in the sense of illness. My grandfather got a bad cold last week or had. Your old friend has a bad temper. Now we are talking of the characteristic of people. So your old friend has a bad temper. Now the third use of have as a main verb is have plus object plus infinitive without to, or have plus object plus verb 1 plus ing is used to talk about instructions or orders. Examples, dear children, are, I am ready to see Mr. Mohan. Please have him come in. So have is used in the sense of order, polite order here. He had us laughing all through the discussion. Now once again, had is used in the sense of instruction. Now some specific uses of had, dear children. In the conditional sentence, we make use of had, to refer to a condition which is unreal or hypothetical. In such sentences, its structure is as follows. When we suppose something or when we assume something and it is purely imaginary and it is in the present tense, dear children, then the structure of sentence would be if plus subject plus had plus noun, that is the subordinate clause, and in the main clause subject plus would or should with verb 1. Examples are, if I had money, I would buy a car. I don't have the money and I can't buy a car. This is pure supposition. I'm imagining that if I had money, I would buy a car. So, had is used in the sense of present, but this is pure imaginary. If you had lands, you would build a house, Once again, this is an assumption, pure supposition. So, you do not have lands and you cannot build a house. This is pure supposition. If you had lands, you would build a house. Now, dear children, if the possibility which is being talked about is in the past, and it is purely imaginary, the structure of the sentence would be as follows. If plus subject plus had plus verb third form in the subordinate clause or adverb clause, and in the main clause, subjects plus would have slash should have plus verb third. Examples are, if Radha had worked hard, she would have passed. Now this is pure supposition, dear children. Neither Radha worked hard nor she passed. It is purely imaginary and wishful thinking. So if Radha had worked hard, she would have passed. The second example is, if you had come to me, I would have helped you. Neither you came nor I helped. It is just a wishful thinking, a pure assumption, dear children. Now, sometime we make use of had with better, and after this we have got infinitive and to is hidden, When we make use of had better plus verb 1 to give a strong advice or tell people what to do. Examples are, it is late, you had better hurry up, So because you are late, so it would be in the fitness of things if you make hurry, So it's late, you had better hurry up. Strong advice. You had better turn that music down before your father gets angry. So before your father gets angry, you have to turn down the music, Now, had plus better refers to immediate future. It is more urgent than should or ought, Example is, you had better do it soon, He is leaving for South Africa next week. Because he is leaving for South Africa next week, you have got to do it soon, So, we talk of had better for immediate future, Had plus better refers to immediate future, dear children, but the form is always past. You have got to remember it. We had better tell him the truth, We are going to tell him the truth in the immediate future, dear children, But the form is in the past, had better. Had is sometimes dropped in very informal speech or spoken English. We sometimes drop it in conversation, You better go now. Had is dropped here. I better try again later, Once again, had is dropped here. Now, if have is used with to or had to, what does it indicate, Have is used with the infinitive to talk about obligation in the present, Examples are, I have to be there by 5 o'clock, That means I must be there by 5 o'clock. He has to move the furniture himself. That means he must move the furniture himself. Now, have to, has to is talking about the obligation in the present, Now, had plus infinitive is used to express obligation in the past. Examples are, she had to walk on foot during her visit to the village last year, So, she was under compulsion to walk on foot during her visit, So, the thing is happening in the past, The man had to wash utensils when his maidservant stopped coming during the corona pandemic. So had to refers to here compulsion or obligation in the past. And third use of have to and had to is when we talk of purely future obligation, we make use of will have to or shall have to. Example is, you can borrow my car, but you will have to bring it back before 10. You can borrow it, but now the time limit is set that you have got to get it back before 10 o'clock. Dear children, the time is almost running out. So I'll be talking about the usage of do in my next video lesson. But before I sign off, I would very much like to give you the home assignment. Your home assignment is number 1, make 10 sentences showing the use of have. Number 2, fill in the blanks with the suitable words given within brackets. A, the computer, blank space, has or have. You have to make a choice between the two. Crashed. B, he, blank space, done very well at school. Once again, your choice is going to be either have or has. C, did the hotel, blank space, a pool. Options are has, have, or had. D, we, blank space, to do the ironing. The options are has or have. E, my father, blank space, asleep after lunch. The options are have or had. F, the local dramatic society, blank space, done Shakuntala at the theatre yesterday. Options are have or had. G, what time, blank space, you got up. The options are have or had. H, you, blank space, mind your business, have or had better. I, she, blank space, to take her examination. Options are had, will have. Hope children, you have enjoyed the present video lesson. Have a nice time. Goodbye.